Knock, 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 knock. Hello, who is home? Let me in. My name is MzGee and welcome to G O'Clock. This is simply tales and thoughts of mine that I'm sharing with you. I hope that you will love this episode like you've always done to the others. Now, it's a season of prophecies. It's a season where everybody is sharing the opinion on prophecies. And I thought to take a seat as well. You don't believe in prophecies, right? Is it that you've been given a prophecy that didn't manifest, or you've heard someone giving someone a prophecy that didn't manifest, or you just do not believe that there's somebody or there are people who see beyond the physical? You don't believe in prophecies, but you believe in soothsayers. You believe in sorcery. You believe that there's something else beyond the physical. Do you? Or you just don't believe that there's anything. You think that life is just the way you see it. So you see somebody in the physical and everything you think happens in the physical. Is that what you believe as well? Well, if you watched last week's vlog, I told you that I believe in prophecies. Why do I believe in prophecies? I have seen, heard, received prophecies. Seen some of them come to pass. Some of them still hanging. Let me show you a video that probably will shock you to your bones, especially those of you who do not believe in prophecies, because it's about me. Now, you see, when you hear prophecies about people, that blah, 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 and it's not close to you, you begin to think, oh, this is, I hear people say, this is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then, any, mini, mani, mo. Whichever one you think it is. But this is about me. And let me show it to you. This is a prophecy that was given in my absence. So how do you know it was you? Watch this video.
Do you know anybody that works with a TV station? Know anybody that works with a TV station? Pray very well. There's somebody close to you who works with a TV station. A woman, for that matter, pray. Because I see somebody on a TV reality show, and the person fall life and die. A fair, tall lady.
So you've seen that video. For those of you who didn't pay attention to that video, that is AG on the screen. You can rewind to watch it. AG, for those of you who do not know the denominations, that is Assemblies of God Church. If you are an Assemblies of God Church member, you know how they are strict on their doctrines, how they respond, or they are accountable to leadership. So Assemblies of God Church is regarded as one of the principled, denominations. Like, there's a structure to follow. So it's not somebody this is not a pulpit that will be used to play carnalities. So this prophecy goes as far back as 2021. It was given to me in absentia. You heard the Prophet Boateng, I salute you wherever you are, telling my friend at the time of a friend she had whose occupation suited mine. And of course, that was the only friend she had at the time who was in this business. And I had to go watch this prophecy and screen grab it from the church's Facebook page. And that's how come I've kept a copy till date. And this is in 2021. If you followed me in 2021, when we entered 2022, I made a post about, not believing that I'll be alive. Now, you might say you don't believe in prophecy. What would you have done if you were the one given this prophecy that I was given? What would you have done? Would you have rubbished it? Would you have said, oh, this man just ate too much gari or ate too much jollof and came to church and decided to say anything? Those are for that is for people who will read too many information. Oh, maybe he knows his friend, or maybe he follows her on Facebook and knows that this is her friend. And people will read so many meanings into this prophecy, especially if you are doubting Thomas. And how do I fault you if you're one? Even Jesus had one amongst his folks. So how do I fault you if you're one? But when I received this prophecy, did I run with it? Yes. So let me tell you today, after receiving this prophecy, I resigned TV3. For those of you who thought, oh, why did she resign and she's a troublemaker, she's resigning. Well, I didn't know where the death was going to come from. But if you heard the prophecy, it says I was going to be on a reality show. And if you have followed my career, you know that I used to host Mentor. And we're getting too close to that time of the year. Would I have ignored this prophecy, even though the man of God didn't say resign? Would I have ignored it and say, oh, and go and stand there and present and then fall and die and this prophecy will come? Oh, she was even giving a prophecy that this, that. Would you have preferred that would have been the case? When I received this prophecy at the time, my dreams were telling that there was something wrong. And so I'm only doing this video to say, yes, there's prophecy, but sometimes your spirit also tells you there's something wrong. Sometimes you see it in your dreams. I was dreaming of death continuously. Is it that I am finding myself among people who I know who have died already, or somebody is telling me they are seeing me dead? In fact, death was haunting me. That was how bad it was. And then I got this prophecy. Then I'll say, oh, this man of God is adding to... I ran with it. He didn't tell me to resign, but I resigned. So now let me tell you, for those of you who say that, oh, and she was jealous of a colleague and that's what... How would I have told you at that time that I had received a prophecy and so I resigned? You'd have said, oh, this girl, she's not correct. So you believe those prophets. When it doesn't happen, then we begin to say, oh, you believe. But when it happens, the same people come and say, hey, she was told, oh, and she didn't run with it, oh, and my prophet even said it. I was in service that day, and blah, 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 blah. If I am not telling you this today, would you know that I had received a death prophecy? Did I run with it? Yes. Did I go to sleep? No. I went to see this man of God myself. He gave me, the directions as to what to do. And one of the directions included a bottle of wine. My brother and my sister, I tell you, the wine I was supposed to use for the direction, the first day I used the wine, the next day, I don't know, for those of you who know wine and how wine can gather mold, you should be able to explain what you think it was. By the next morning, this wine had gathered mold, like mold inside the wine, inside, not the around the bottle, inside the wine. Bibi what we ask you. I'm only sharing my story to say that all of you who are making noise, oh, and it is prophetic people, I agree, and I said it last week and I repeat, there are charlatans among these prophets. There are people who do calculation and find a way, like almost stories no quite. But even with them, if I tell you the truth, if I even meet a charlatan today and he tells me that, MzGee, we saw you here, hey, running to the altar that has kept me, I won't take it and say, oh, because it's a charlatan. I don't know what he's operating in. I will run to the altar that I believe. First off, I will condemn. Then I'll run to the altar that I believe in to go and be praying against it. When I had this prophecy, it was prayer mode for me. After taking the direction, I was praying, counseling, reversing. I was going for prayer meeting. I know there are also a set of people that will be complaining that these prophets will always say, bring this for this, bring that for that. Let me drink Gary on your behalf. Let me do fasting and prayers for you. Bring this, bring bread, bring that, bring that. My dear, if you can take, go and give. If you cannot give, let them know you cannot give. This is what you have. Because even those who go to other places to go and seek, they also make sacrifices. Sometimes some of these things, it's dicey. And I know people who read a lot of meanings into it. But if your spirit doesn't agree with it, do not do it. If you don't want to do it, do not do it. But there's nothing wrong with dropping a seed. I don't know how people understand these things, but we those who watch movies, when people are going to all these lesser gods or all the other gods, don't they go with sacrifices? Do they go empty-handed? So you need to begin to ask yourself some of the questions. But if you cannot do it, don't do it. Then there's also another conversation about now that the floodgates have been opened, that the authorities have said, oh, bring in, call in, email, whatever it is, your prophecies to them. I know that people are not happy about it, but I'm hoping that that will die down the pulpit prophecies, where you're giving notable people prophecies via your pulpit and airing it for everybody to hear. In my church, for instance, these days, when they are streaming and they are giving prophecies, they either take the back of the church. So you don't know, you're hearing the man of God prophesying to a certain person, but you don't even see the person's face. Sometimes I have a problem with these people who show the faces of the people they are prophesying to, because they might chance on the video. Like, it will create a lot of confusion in their families, and their people in the families who cherish these people's prophecies are being said to. So we should find ways of, say, whether we are blurring their face. I know some people are doing that now, but some people just leave the faces for everybody to see. But what do you think that, what about the mockery sometimes from even their colleagues? And I'll say, mockery in your chair and you're doing prophecy in baby mana. Well, I don't know, but I still believe that there's a better way we can go about these things. And for those who also say, so now that they say government officials should send to the Jubilee House or send emails to where, what about those who give prophecies about celebrities? Enter their DM. Well, they say some of them don't see their DM. But you see, I think, what's the solution I'll give? I sincerely don't think I have a perfect solution, but I'm sure that not everybody would like to hear their names on your pulpit saying that this, that. The best may be is to say, oh, let this person come and see me. I have a word for them. Oh, if you know this person, can you let them come and see? Okay, I'm using my congregation. I'm sending this message out through my pulpit. If you know this person, can you tell them to get in touch with me? I have a word from the Lord for them. But to say, this person is great, I'm not sure that people are happy because of the fear and panic these things create. I'm not against the prophetic. I don't mind. But the fear and panic you create when you give these prophecies on your pulpit, Jesus. Even me, if it's not my family member, I'll start to shake. And there are people who are there to just make mockery of the whole thing. Are you also putting yourself out for ridicule as a man of God? Then finally, I sincerely and totally have a problem with the people who prophesy and then they'll go and be there. And he said it 2 days ago, and he said it 1 week ago, and the last month on 31st night. I don't know. Maybe I'm a small girl when it comes to spiritual things, but I sometimes feel like it is for self-glorification. You want to glorify yourself that, yes, I am anointed. If you are anointed, you don't need to make noise that you are anointed. The people who know. The people who are following you know. And your advertisements been so then they'll go and pull a video. Look, who is he that says a word and it comes to pass when the Lord commands it not? If God reveals to redeem, are we able to tell all these things? Like, are we able to tell people that we are backing these things with scripture that says that God reveals to redeem? If God reveals to redeem and you are saying it, how come your prayers didn't redeem the person? When they are asking these questions, what answers are we giving them? And then again, who is he that says a thing and it comes to pass when God has not commanded? You know, so for me, it's getting. I cringe sometimes with all these things going on because I am a Christian. I'm a staunch one for that matter, and I know that there's something beyond the physical. But I think some of these things we have to manage them properly. I would want to appeal to a lot of these celebrities, and if we don't like the style of the prophecy, let's say we don't like the style, let's attack the style than the one who's bringing the word and the message they're bringing to us. We don't want a point where God has given the people messages to come and give to you. They are sleeping on it because they are afraid of the backlash and all of that. I think that if we don't like the style, and I don't like the style, which is begin to, and I'm using Gabe or no, remember your email, and then Ghana Actors Guild, that one still exists, they will give us email. Or how do you want it to be done? If exactly you believe that there's something beyond the physical. Let's say, okay, this is how we want to be done. Now, government has told us how they want their prophecies to be handled. Maybe the celebrities should come under an umbrella and say, okay, if you've seen anything about me, this is how to go about it. Until then, pastors, prophets, in all humility, let's find a better way of approaching this issue. Some of us really believe that God is using people and God speaks through people. But political points, no, and bragging rights, no, or whatever. So it makes it So when I was resigning, the interesting thing and why people were able to concoct stories till today, until now that I'm speaking about resigning TV3, is that I couldn't open my mouth to say I was leaving for this, that reason. The people who were my bosses at the time were surprised. I am told they released a statement almost the next day because they thought I was going to sit on another television station. I had gotten a better offer. If you calculate that journey, I resigned TV3 to come and sit at home, not knowing what I was going to do in my life. But I knew one thing for sure, that my life was more important than any other thing. And this is not to say that whoever wanted to kill me was at TV3. We do not know, and I was not told exactly what happened. But this was the circumstance under which I was going to pass away. By what the prophet said. If you were me, would you still go and carry microphone and say, hello, welcome to mentor, blah, 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 blah. Did he ask me to resign? Again, I said no. But I searched within my spirit. My spirit kept saying go. My spirit kept saying just resign. So for those of you who have carried stories that, oh, I was keeping malice with a colleague of mine and I was jealous about it, look, Mokasa. Somebody will just burn it and cook some story and tell the whole world that this is it. And people believe it because sometimes it's difficult to place the camera in front of yourself and be explaining. Who explained said, yeah, there's something I've learned. They will run with what they have. Till today, people come and say, oh, that's why you're sacked from TV3. I keep saying to people, it was even so much at a certain point that I had to even issue a statement that, the company is there, go and ask them if they ever sacked me. I left because of this. And I'm still alive. When I left, I didn't go to sleep. I went to pray. I kept praying warfare. So when we entered 2022, I made a lengthy post on my socials and said that I didn't know that I would see 2022. People are going through things, so the fact that we don't take camera and put it in front of us or that everybody is not able to come and articulate what they are going through, don't think that everybody who shows their 32 is happy, sane, and okay. No. I went through it. Only God knows what I went through from that point when I finally knew that, yes, death was calling. So when the next year came, which was 2022, I celebrated 2022 January. So when you see me every month, for those of you who follow me, coming to write, prophesy into the month and say, I'm chanting into the month, I'm truly chanting into the month. I'm chanting with the name of the Most High God because I know that there's something beyond the physical. Oh, someone will say, why is it that it's only doom prophecy that they say? Why is it that all their prophecies about doom? Somebody is going to die, somebody is going to die. This same man, I show you another prophecy, gave me this other prophecy. This time around, in person. It wasn't a doom prophecy. Look at this one.
There's a level that God is taking you to. If I were you, I would spend time and ask God for favor. You. There's a level God is taking you to. If I were you, I will ask God for favor. Because this level, the only thing you need is divine connections.
This also was a prophecy that he gave, I think, in 2022. Yes, I think this is in 2022. Either latter part of, because I see I'm wearing a mask, either latter part of 2021. I think it's still latter part of 2021. At this time, I had resigned. I was frustrated. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a job. But look at the prophecy I was given. And the man said, oh, and I would have said, hey, Papa, where am I going to see this kind of people, the realm, that whatever. But my Pastor Eric Hemeko, has something that he says. It says, between thou says the Lord and it came to pass is warfare. You have to pray. So it says, oh, and I'm prophecy, and I'll die. The prophetic for me, I'm not a pastor. I'm just one who prays and knows that there's something beyond the physical. I know that it doesn't work like that. When you hear a word, you run with it. Whether good or bad, you run with it. How many of you didn't see on the socials where people were prophesying? And MzGee, and I say, it says, I see all of them and I take it back to the altar of fire. See, this mouth that eats salt and eats pepper, the things that sometimes this mouth says, if you do not condemn, it has a tendency of following you. It's not even sometimes about prophecy. Because it says the power of life and death lies in this tongue. So when people are projecting things on you, Also, reverse the ones you don't like. Claim the ones you want and reverse the ones you don't like. If you don't have any altar that you cling to, you're on your own. Oh. I always say this thing that if you believe in going to pour libation, please pour your libation well. If you believe in what I believe in, which is calling on the Lord God Almighty, hold on to him, zook him. He's the only person. Because in Kofoninam, people are doing things. When somebody hits their shoulder and say, me, Metro Bibi, probably it's not just empty threats. So they are truly manipulating and working things. Don't go to sleep. And again, don't follow people. I have a friend in the same business. I've not asked for permission to call his name. He will tell me, MzGee, and I would a prophecy, and then he would find a way to doubt and rubbish and make inaccurate everything the Bible says, or anything the word says, or anything that glorifies God or talks about the existence of God. But do you know what? His mother pays tithe on his head. As old as he is, he's older than me. And you know what I tell him all the time? I said, your mom is still paying tithe on your head. If you join that kind of person, maybe your parents are not paying any tithe on your head. Maybe your mother that will pay tithe, like my mother, is gone. And is blabbing and saying, there's no God and God. The mother is atoning for him. And you are there following him. So if you see people say, there's no God, and now sit there and say, please, if you know you don't have any source, you don't have anything you're holding on to, they will clear you. They will clear you. There is something beyond the physical that I know and I have experienced.
D3ATH, Likri and their Satalash. Please follow me, sir. A relationship that is supposed to offer help keep disappointing. A source that is supposed to offer help keep disappointing. God told me that I should tell you to look up unto him. He's creating multi-channel of help for you. He's creating multi-channel of help for you. I don't know, there is a particular source you are looking at for help, and you've been staring there for long, and it's like disappointment and limitation from there. That is not your source. They look to him, they were lighted, and their faces are not ashamed, saith the Spirit of the Lord. Because I'm seeing multi-dimensional. It's like multi-streams. It's like multi-streams. Saith the God of history. Hear me, daughter of Zion, beginning from tonight, your helpers shall be many. Saith the Spirit of the Lord.
But this one, I'm still waiting for it to happen. I still take it to prayer. I say, God, see 2021, multiple streams of income. Where is it coming from? Where is it? Blah, blah, blah. But if you believe, when the prophecy is sweet, that it will happen. They say you will get money, you will get this, you get that, you get this, and you marry, and you have children, and your husband will be rich, and you go abroad, you go here. If you believe in those prophecies, why do you have a problem when the prophecy, it doesn't sound sweet to the ear? Because there's good and there's evil. Once there's good, there's evil. So whichever one you hear, please don't go to sleep.